All right, how's it going? Davis James down here in the Anglers All Tying Studio. Today I'm going to whip up a Thread Frenchie. This Lance Egan pattern cuts through the water quickly. It's a great searching pattern, great confidence pattern, and you can tie it up in a ton of different colors. Let's get right to it. All right, here we go, the Thread Frenchie. So right now on the vise, I've got a Hanak 400 BL. I've got it in a 12 just so it's a little bit longer for the tying video. I normally tie these in 14s and 16s. On the 16, you would use closer to a 2.3 millimeter bead. On the 14s and 12s, I use a 3.2 millimeter bead. I'm tying a variation of the pattern, so the color is going to be a little bit different. I'm using a matte black bead. I'm going to be using a black wire, black CDL fibers, and I'm using a gray-brown UTC 70. The beauty of this fly is you can tie it in a bunch of different colors. So right off the bat, I'm just going to make a little thread dam behind the bead to try and hold it in place while I tie the rest of the materials in. These oversized beads take quite a bit. All right, quit wiggling. Now I'm going to move my thread back, making touching wraps until I get to where, just about where the barb would be, a little bit shy. If you tie this fly, you have the option of tying it a little short, using a little less of the shank. It just makes a slightly smaller appearance for the fish. All right, next step, I'm going to grab a CDL feather right here. I'm going to go ahead and peel off about 6 or 8 fibers from the feather. So got quite a bit. Let's thin that out a little bit. All right. I got about 8 or so fibers. This is going to make a pretty stark contrasting tail because it's black. I'm going to go ahead and measure that. I'm going to tie it in at about 1/3 of the full length of the fly. I'm going to kind of make my adjustment, bring it up on top. Go a little bit longer. All right, pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and secure this down. I'm going to go ahead and move my thread wraps all the way up front. The bead didn't hold still on me. Just add a little bit more there. I'll build a little bit of a thread body here, not too much. The whole idea of the Thread Frenchie is that it's a more sparse version than the standard Frenchie. All right, almost skipped a step there. Back the thread off just a tad. I'm going to go ahead and jam the wire in the slot of the bead so it holds put. I'm going to run my thread up, and then I'm going to run my thread back down. And now I'm going to run my thread all the way back up again. I like this gray-brown color. Once you put UV on it, it kind of mutes the color and really makes a nice, realistic, midge larva look to it. This being a pretty big midge larva. Now I'm going to take my small brassy wire. I'm going to make some wraps towards me, about 5 or 6 to create this segmentation. All right, once I get to the front, I'm going to capture that. Trapping the wire on both sides with the thread. That way I can go ahead and helicopter, break the wire off. All right, next step is I'm going to take Loon UV Flow. I'm going to make just one small drop. Then I'm going to use just a little needle or a bodkin to spread it around. The idea is you want to put a very sparse amount so you still have segmentation on the fly. Definitely personal preference here. You have the option to coat the fly, but then it doesn't have quite the same quality to it. All right, now I'm going to throw a little BTs, a little dubbing wax on my thread. I grab a small little pinch of ice dub. This is going to be a Midnight Haze. It's a newer color here at the shop, and that's kind of what spawned this color variation. I wanted to try out some new colors that we got in. And the beauty of this fly is you can kind of create this sort of hot spot thorax collar however you want. mainly keeping an eye on not having too much dubbing. So I'm going to go ahead and peel some of that off. Make a nice skinny dubbing noodle. And now we're just going to go ahead and dub this collar. So the number one mistake folks make is they make too big of a dubbing head here. So I'm just trying not to use too much. All right, now I've got that secured. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple extra thread wraps to kind of mush it down, make it durable. And then final steps, I'm just going to grab my whip finish. You commonly see tires doing more than one whip finish as just a little bit of added security, especially if you don't plan on putting any kind of coating on the head. This just makes it last a little longer, get a few more fish out of it before you need to change flies. All right. Take a quick look, make sure we don't have to trim any errant fibers. Looks pretty good. That right there is the Thread Frenchie from Lance Egan. Appreciate you guys watching. Please drop a comment down below. We decided to tie this fly based on a comment someone had left saying they wanted to see more jig style flies with oversized beads. So here we are. Again, thanks for watching. Hit up anglersall.com to get all the materials to tie this fly. Give us a call here at the shop or swing by if you want to dig through our tying materials. Thanks a lot.